Hey guys, welcome back to another Mythic Legions review. This time we have another skeleton warrior, Tibius. On the back of the package we have some info on the Mythic Legion series and a few pictures of other figures. On the side we have some lore on the figure itself, so let's get them out. Just like all the other Mythic Legion figures, they come in collector friendly packaging, easy to remove or store back together. Here we have the undead skeleton commander, Tibius, one of the oldest living skeletons that roams the earth. Tibius is a master fighter that dual-wields swords on the battlefield. Tibius is constantly on a search looking for more undead soldiers to join his army. Let's check out some detail. Tibius has 2 stripes of red war paint on his skull. We can also see a lot of that great detail on the sculpt. And on the side we can see the stripes reaching to the back, along with more cracks all over his skull. And under that skull we have the skeletal neck joint. It's a cool feature that really adds to that skeletal look. The chest is a bright silver color with darker gray details. We can also see some light rust painted on to give it that aged look. On his shoulder we can see more of that steel plate armor layered over each other. The parts of the body that aren't armored have bone exposed. A close-up reveals the details in the sculpt as well as a rough texture. The back of the figure is very plain and has big sockets. It looks bad, but we'll be covering this area up with shoulder pads and the cape later on. The gauntlets have a bit of rust painted onto the hands. The front skirt has more of that silver and dark silver paint, along with a tiny bit of rust at the bottom to match the worn out look. The skeletal thigh has more of that rough bone texture, with little dents in the sculpt. And finally, we have the boots. We have more of that silver paint with a ton of rust applied, almost a little too much compared to the rest of the figure. Let's check out that articulation. We have a ball jointed head, articulation at the shoulder with flexible armor so you can make room to rotate and open the shoulder, a rotating and bending elbow, a rotating forearm, and we have articulation at the wrist. We have a ball jointed waist, great thigh articulation with a ton of range, bends at the knee with slight rotation, and lastly, ball jointed feet. Tibius comes with an alternate skull with jaw articulation, although it doesn't have the war paint. Swapping the head out is as easy as popping out the original and fitting the other skull right on. We have a pair of shoulder armor in matching paint with a peg hole to attach to the figure. To install the shoulder armor, all you have to do is fit the peg into the socket very easily. You can adjust them by rotating them. Tibius comes with a worn and tattered black cape. It has holes in it to attach to the shoulder pegs. We have a belt that I really couldn't find any use for, as we already have 2 hanging in the armor and it won't fit over the chest due to the shoulders and the neck armor. I guess they just come with every figure. Tibius comes with a pair of daggers. The first is black and gold colored, and the other has a red grip. We also have a pair of swords. The first is black and silver, while the next matches the first dagger with that red grip. Both are made of a hard plastic. Out of the box, Tibius felt generic and underwhelming to me, but after a while he grew on me. The shoulders, cape, and daggers really bring out the character. Although I feel as if this character is still missing something that makes him truly unique. I think a helmet or hood accessory would have given him much more character. This figure is very solid, as with all other Four Horsemen figures. The sculpting and paint is very well done. The upper body articulation could have been a bit better, but with armor this bulky I can see why it was limited. One detail I didn't like was his extra skull accessory didn't have the war paint. So I either had to trade off for the paint or the jaw articulation. Maybe I'll paint it in the future, but I would have preferred it painted out of the box. Overall, the figure is very well done, but it isn't the most unique out of the series. Seeing as these figures are hard to collect, if you're not going all in, I'd suggest getting a more unique skeleton. At the cost of $35, you get a ton of accessories. 4 weapons, an extra skull, and the rest give it a good value. But if you're a casual collector, maybe wait on something a bit more unique, something that stands out a bit more. Alright guys, that'll do it for me. Like and subscribe and stay tuned for more reviews coming up soon.